Karen Aaron again, here for another Agartha story video. This time we wanted to talk about Christine, her character, kind of her personality. She's our main character in the story and kind of the one that's going on this journey. So I brought Aaron here to talk a little bit about her and kind of her background. And then I'm going to cut the video like after he does that and just ramble about some of the dolls I've been thinking about for her. So Aaron, tell us a little bit about like Christine and what it was like for her growing up.
The kind of kid that was, she was nerdy, so she kept to herself, and she had lofty ideas about the world, and she liked fantasy books and like fairy tales and things. So she, that was
Did
her.
Did kids make fun of her?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think probably she was made fun of, but at the same time, she was pretty tough and assertive. So she, instead of more or less living her life in books and having that be something different, she kind of believed, and she was assertive in her beliefs. And so the kids more or less left her alone.
Yeah.
They didn't. She wasn't cool or anything, but they more or less left her alone because probably they were a little bit afraid of her.
And we also decided that there's something kind of physically different about her.
Right. So she never grows up, so to speak, physically. So she gets older, but she stays diminutive. Small.
Yeah.
Cut that one out. She stays small in stature, and so she never really matures. She always looks young. Maybe never gets past 15, 16 of age in appearance.
Yeah, and when the story starts, she's college age. Well, we're doing kind of a prologue, prequel kind of thing, but the main story kicks off when she's college age, right?
Right. So she's in her 20s, and she's already going to university for a specific goal. So she's the one who initially started the whole thing.
So how does Christine fit into the whole story of Agartha?
Well, Christine is the one who thought of the whole idea. Well, like I thought of the idea, but well, like Christine is the main character in the story, so she's the one who it's her belief that the earth is hollow, or that there's this mysterious underground world, and she's felt so strongly about it through her entire life. She actually made a career of it in the university program. So she went into geology and studying mountain ranges and tectonic plates and things like that. So she wanted to get into that field, one, because it interests her and she's really smart, but two, because her ultimate goal was to delve deep into the earth and see if that was a thing.
So what's Christine's personality like? Like, who is she as a person?
Well, when she grows up and she's an adult, even throughout her whole life, she's very intellectual. She's a serious person. She's very professional, respectful, and she loves deeply. Like she loves things and like her ideas and people, but she's also very she doesn't show it. So she's very introverted. So people think she's very standoffish, or she's very short, but she doesn't mean to be rude. She just means she's just awkward socially.
So they think she's a snob, but really she just doesn't know how to interact with people?
Right. She carries herself in such a way that people think she's like an Uber businesswoman, or like, intimidating until you get to know her. And so like the students who she goes to the Himalayas with, they know her very well, and her professor knows her very well, but those are really the only people that she's opened up to.
So she's like Bat Kid? She walks like she's 270?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she is smaller, so does she have like a Napoleon complex? Does she try to compensate for it, or would you say it's like just her normal personality?
I think it's just her normal personality. Yeah, she doesn't care what people think is the other thing, so she doesn't, she knows she's different, and she's unapologetic about that.
Do you think she knows what people think of her, or do you think she's a little oblivious to it?
No, I think she knows.
She knows?
Growing up, that was probably the thing that she heard the most, but it only took so much, kids won't if the kids will make fun of you if they get a rise out of you, but then once you know that target is no longer giving that emotion back, then kids
Yeah.
give up, and then that just becomes the goth kid in the corner.
They give
or
you
like
if there's the
whatever.
phrase, "Don't feed the trolls," so she doesn't feed the trolls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the really challenging parts about this whole story has been finding a doll for Christine. She's a pretty fleshed out character, but she's also not very solidified in my mind as far as who she is and what she looks like and all that kind of stuff. We liked the idea of her being an MSD sized doll because that's the size that I'm more comfortable with, and I enjoy. But we liked some of the other characters maybe being SD sized. So part of the story is that she is a small person with kind of a more immature body. So that's the style of body that I'm looking for, is something a little more immature. But I also don't want it to be cutesy. I want it to be kind of sculptural or a unique face. So a couple, I have on my phone here, I have my Pinterest board, and I'll add a link in the description below of some of the dolls that I'm thinking about for her. But I'd love to hear if you guys had any other ideas, or if any of those are like a doll that you really love and you think I should go for that doll. So really early on, I went to a doll meet and I saw a Doll in Mind Annabeth, and I really liked her face. I liked the big head that she had, and I liked kind of the details on her forehead, how she had kind of like some veins or something popping out of her forehead. And but one thing that I'm not sure about with her is she looks really, really pouty, and I wonder if she's just too pouty, and maybe if she doesn't have enough versatility with her face to do different expressions and things like that. But I do still really like her, and I always go back to that one as an option. Another one I like is the Ippelhaus Tanya. So her face, I like the expression in her lips. I think she kind of looks a little mischievous, and I could see Christine kind of falling into that mischievous category. There's the dog giving some love over there. But I don't really like the bodies. I think they're too mature for her character. So if I did go with that head, it would have to be some kind of hybrid. So there's that one. I pretty much like every head by Doll in Mind. But I do also think they all look pouty and sad all the time. And that's a generalization, but in general. I also really like the Doll Chateau dolls. I had looked at Lydia. She could have, in addition to like being smaller, could have like Wardenberg syndrome. So I thought that might be interesting. But then it kind of puts her into a box where she's not so flexible in her look. And then I really liked the Spirit Doll bodies. So I've been looking at the Spirit Doll Snowdrop. I think she's really pretty. Has kind of it's more of a cutesy anime face, but it has kind of this haunting quality to it. But I've also heard she has a really small head and like small eyes. So I don't know. So let's see. What else we got here? I put a couple from Dalmore. I don't have the name of this one, unfortunately. I think it's Hazel. Dalmore Hazel. She has like these the dark circle under her eyes like I do. And it's almost like if I were gonna make myself in doll form and like a cutesy version of myself, that would be her. So it's kind of weird. But I also like Dalmor Zihu. I think that's how you pronounce it, Zihu. I found this really cool face up that somebody did, with like splatters, black splatters, and like really dark eyes, and I just really like that look. I think that's really unique and interesting. And then the other one, I was watching a video by Denali Wind, and she was talking about her new doll from Dolls Town, and I hadn't really looked at their website or their dolls or anything, but I really like the sculpture look of their dolls as well, and they're not quite as pouty, but the unfortunate thing is that the three that I fell in love with are all SD sized. Zoe, Kana, and Remy are the three that I really liked. So yeah, so those are some of the dolls that right now are on my list of contenders for Christine, but I'm not really sure yet which direction I'm gonna go. But I'd love to hear kind of like your thoughts, if you guys like any of those dolls or have had one of those dolls for a while, or you think they suit her character, or other dolls I haven't mentioned that you think would work. I would love to hear it. All right, thanks. Bye.